The purpose of this act was to amend several previous acts in order to better secure and encourage British sugar trade and to spend the revenue on the defense of the colonies along with cracking down on smuggling. This parliamentary act enables the king to tax colonial or foreign sugar, indigo, coffee, wine, silk, herbs, calico, linen, including French lawn and cambric, molasses, and syrup. The tax collectors have the authority to seize untaxed goods, charge a fine to the importer, and sell the goods to the highest bidder. If any seized wine could not be sold at a high enough price to cover the cost of the tax collector's job, then it was to be destroyed or returned to the importer. All of the revenue raised from this act was recorded separately from other tax revenue and reserved to be expended on the defense of the American colonies. Exporters of wine must give bond to the king, which will not be discharged until a receipt from the importer is brought to the export customs office to ensure that the wine exported only went to its intended destination, that being the American colonies, and not some foreign nation, nor returned back to Great Britain without permission from the customs office. Rum and spirits from the colonies not under the crown cannot be imported to colonies under the crown, and if a vessel is found transporting rum and spirits to the royal colonies, then the goods and the whole vessel can be seized. If a ship is importing the goods referenced in this act from the American colonies to Great Britain, then the merchant will have to prove with affidavits that the goods were produced within the American colonies and only to be transported to any other part of the empire. Any undocumented and uncertified goods being imported to Great Britain will be assumed to be foreign, and the punishment of illegal foreign imports will be imposed, namely a large fine, the seizure of the illicit goods, and even the forfeiture of the vessel carrying the contraband. All coffee, pimento, coconuts, whale fins, raw silks, hides and skins, pot and pearl ashes produced in the American colonies must be directly imported to Great Britain and is forbidden to be exported to foreign ports. No iron or lumber from the American colonies can be exported to any other place other than Great Britain without proper paperwork and prior approval. There will be no trade between the colonies without proper paperwork, nor are British ships transporting goods to Great Britain allowed to also move goods to the American colonies without prior approval. Salt destined to fisheries and other places around the empire do not need any paperwork, and the same goes for wine from certain places, along with horses and linen from Ireland. The punishment of counterfeiting documents will be £500, and the false documents will be invalid. Any foreign ships anchored or hovering within 2 leagues off the coast will be seized, and all imports and exports must be on British ships. This does not include French fishing ships who are not trading goods. Any goods found that are not a part of the itinerary report will be forfeit to the customs officer, and the master of the ship will pay 3 times the value of the goods forfeited. The boats, horses, cattle, and carriages used to carry contraband are also to be forfeit. Any officer caught accepting bribes or aiding illicit trade will pay £500 and will no longer be able to hold any office in the empire. And those giving the bribes will pay £50. All taxes mentioned in this act will be collected in British sterling. The contraband seized will be divided to the customs office, the governor, and the one who did the seizing. For seizures done at sea, half will go to the customs office, and the other half will go to the king. The act ends with several articles describing court procedure and compensation regarding fraud in trade. This has been the summary of the Sugar Act. This is the second document in this section of the first chapter. The next document will be the Currency Act of 1764. That Currency Act will conclude the first lecture of the first section. The next lecture will cover the petitions made by the colonists, and that includes, for right now, 3 documents: the rights of the British colonies asserted and approved written by a colonist named James Otis, and the other 2 documents are from state legislatures, the first being from Massachusetts and the second being from Virginia. Both of these petitions argued in favor of repealing the 3 acts in Lecture 1. If you're interested in checking out this online course that we are developing, then you can do so on the curriculum page under the Education tab of the site, which will be linked in the description. Let me know what you guys think of the Sugar Act. I hope you learned something new, and I will see you in the next video.